Jim Ratcliffe could be walking away from his 25% share investment at Manchester United before it has even begun. There is never a normal day at Manchester United. And I'm not just sick to my back teeth of it. I'm exhausted. I'm drained. And I just don't believe in the foreseeable future United are going to have any real sustained positivity. Now, I know that at the first thought of this, people will say, but we don't want Sir Jim, so this is a good thing. It really isn't when you read the wider stories and you look at the current situation at Manchester United. There is a belief, and I believe it to be a fallacy, a delusion. When Sir Jim walks away, maybe, just maybe, the Glazers will sell to Sheikh Jassim. Maybe the Qataris will come back in and we'll get what we want. Now, I hope for the life of me, you're right. I hope that I am as wrong can be. But I wouldn't hold my breath. I don't trust the Glazers as far as I can throw them. They've already twice now gone back on or have started challenging some of the original deal they offered to Jim. The red flags are everywhere. I'll give you advice. If you're ever in a business meeting and you're trying to do a deal with a company or with your partners, whoever it may be, and they go, right, we're going to offer you X, Y, and Z. You go, great, and you agree to it. Go get the paperwork drawn up, we'll review it. And then there's delays, and then they want to change this and change that. Get away from that deal as quick as you can. Those people cannot be trusted. And that is what the Glazers have done. First of all, Sir Jim was going to get full control over the sporting operation. Now he's going to be one of 3 people that has an input on the sporting situation. Now what they're saying is Sir Jim might abandon the takeover talks because they're not giving him a clear and concise route to full ownership. Now, some people don't want him to own the club outright, and I understand that, and I get it. But this is a wider problem. I think their belief is, like I've already alluded to, if we don't get Sir Jim, we'll probably go and get a Qatari owner. We'll get a Middle East owner. We'll get somebody better. In my personal opinion, we will stay with the Glazers for the foreseeable. And I'll be able to tell you why. Hit the like button first of all. Make sure you're sharing this, especially Man United fans. Share this because this needs to get out, and I need your opinions to be out there for people to see as well. The reason why I think people are laboring under this delusion is it's been recently stated at a shareholder presentation, investor presentation, that Man United said, this is without Sir Jim, without anybody getting involved, would surpass $1 billion in revenue by the end of the fiscal year, the financial year in 2027. It's only 3.5 years away. 3.5 to 4 years away. Man United owners know that through sponsorships, because of our fan bases buying their products, because of our shirt sales and the endorsements that come with that, and because of our die-hard fans that all around the world buy the merchandise, support the sponsors, and go to the games, that the revenue is going to continue to grow. Of course, TV money is always going to increase because football is an ever-growing sport. Man United fans can impact that slightly if they wanted to by using alternative means or not. But Man United fans have a direct impact on 63% of the income. 63% of that £1 billion target we impact. And this is why the Glazers are holding on. Because if they're getting offers of 6 odd billion now, when we're turning over 600 to 700 million, just think about the offers they can get in 3.5 to 4 years' time if we're hitting £1 billion. You are then looking potentially at the 10s and the 11 billion pound offers. It's all about themselves getting richer. This is not about Man United becoming a better football club. This is about them making money. And I've been spouting this for years on here now. Pool your money. All the fan groups that do the protests, all the fan groups that fight against them, I respect you. Forget the protests. Create a manifesto which shows you can do it quickly or slowly. I think this needs to be debated and worked out amongst fans, but we are essentially going to pull all of our funds from Manchester United until our demands are met. And that is essentially you sell our club to owners we approve at a reasonable price. Enough is enough. Enough hashtags, enough demonstrations, enough talk, time for tangible action. Because listen, you may not want Sir Jim. You may see Sir Jim as a bad idea. But as I've said, this isn't about better owners coming in. This is about the Glazers making more money in the long term or being offered a ridiculous amount of money now just to get rid of themselves. Because they know either way round, it's win-win. Because they don't care. For you and I, it's about the league titles. For you and I, it's about the Champions League. For them, it's about making money. And whether we win, lose, or draw, they are making money. But I've always said it's very controllable. Now, you look at the way they're running this club. The debt is currently at the highest level, I repeat, that it has ever been. Now, this impacts the club massively. The debts right now are up to 862 million. Now, that includes borrowing that's owed to banks and money that's owed to football clubs. We have to pay interest on all of this. Interest rates right now are the highest they've been in generations. Well, since the crash in 08 anyway. Maybe not quite generations. That costs Manchester United money, which stops us from being able to pay the debt down and impacts our ability to continue buying players at the right level and renewing contracts with the right individuals. And we do still spend money because we have a massive turnover, but we should add even more. It also stops us from improving the infrastructure, which I actually think is even more important at the club. Training facilities, stadia, as an example, has a huge impact on that, and the lack of professionalism in this area is crazy. There's even something that I saw which rattled me, and that's at one point, and I want to make sure I get this number right and get it back up in front of me again, 1.7, by the way, million pounds. 1.7 million pounds of share options was generated into the coffers of Manchester United. Now, as Kieran Maguire here says, I wonder who were the lucky beneficiaries of the 1.7 million of share options on the back of the share price rise last season. And the share price rose last season partly for what we did on the pitch, but mainly because there was a belief that the Sheikh was going to take over the club. So if you think the club generated on share options 1.7 million, which according to Kieran Maguire, the leading financial expert on football, the Glazers were the beneficiaries, imagine how much they made on the actual stock exchange. And as I told you all before, there's a large possibility that they're doing a lot of this just to raise capital on the stock exchange for their own personal gain. We know they've made over $500 million when they've sacked and hired managers in recent years on the stock exchange. And there's no doubt they've done it again. If 1.7 was raised here on the club, which they get the cash from that, the club doesn't. How much did they make privately? And do you know what's crazy? That 1.7 million, look, it's not enough to buy a new striker. It's not enough to buy a new defender. But it is enough to stop all the urine leaking over Old Trafford. It's certainly enough to stop the leaks in the stadium. But again, that money isn't being used for the club. It's being used for personal gain. And I go back to this earlier. I'm not the biggest fan of this deal with Sir Jim. I'm not. And it's not about me being angry that Sir Jim isn't coming in. It's that the Glazers don't care about the £1.3 billion investment. They won't even be using that to lower the debt and improve the stadia and everything else if they get their way. They just want as much money for their back pockets as possible. And we see with the way the club operates, what their priorities are. Everything is about money. This is a disaster for Man United. Because there is the distinct possibility with Sir Jim coming in, the talks that Richard Arnold could be moved out, people like Paul Mitchell could be coming in to run the club. There is a chance that Man United starts to improve under Sir Jim. There is a chance. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but there's a chance. If better football people are running the club, new ideas are coming in. There's a anonymity. There's power there for the new people coming in. There's a chance that we can improve under the Glazers. I've said it before. I don't believe when they're here, it's 100% guaranteed that we don't improve. The reason I don't believe we will, though, is because I don't ever believe they'll give anybody the power they need to make us successful. Because all they care about is money. This overall situation is an absolute disaster. It's another embarrassment, and it's another dark day for this football club. Until these Glazers are gone or they relinquish football power, debts start to be repaid, stadia is improved, training facilities are improved, this club cannot progress at the rate we want. So we can focus on getting rid of Bruno and Rashford. We can focus on viruses like Pogba. That's sarcasm in case anybody wants to know. We can keep sacking managers, or we could actually do something tangible. I'm almost at a point now where I look at some Man United fans online and think, I don't even think you care about the club. I just think you care about using the club as a stepping stone for your career. Because you moan about the wrong things, you don't focus on the most important bits, and you support the areas that actually damage us. I find it mad, genuinely mad. I want to know what you think and feel. Another horrible day, in my personal opinion, as a Man United fan. Half these stories are not even being discussed. The underlying elements are not being looked at. And until I've said it for months now, I know Man United fans get triggered, and I think it's because nobody likes to feel responsible. But we as Man United fans are accountable for this situation because we will not pull our money. We pull it, they're gone in 3 months. I guarantee you, we pull our money, 3 months, this club's sold. It's done, it's dusted, it's finished. 3 months of sacrifice. I swear that's all it would take because the value would drop. The revenues would drop, and it would be the sponsors and the TV companies and all sorts knocking on their door saying, do something as we're pulling our money. Because there'll be all manner, by the way, of clauses that require a certain amount of fans and a certain amount of traffic. And if we pull it away, they will force them out because it's all about money. And people that are money hungry are very easy to control. You just cut the snake's head off. Anyway, take care. Goodbye. God bless. See you in a bit.